If you could just maybe briefly talk about what you feel makes your program special and unique. If there's any particular experiences the students will have, access to things, opportunities, why you think when you go out and you talk about your school, you think that it's a really good choice, or, and you can even blend this in there, if you feel like it's very specific, maybe there's students that don't fit the school that you're looking for, but what do you think makes your school special in terms of experiences that you offer? We can start with USC.
I'm trying to think how to word this. We look at your educational experience as a whole experience. You're not coming in just to be a film student or an animator, a writer. You're coming to get an education. So that above everything is important to us. We are not a trade school. We are not teaching you a trade. If you want to learn how to run a camera, go to a trade school. The reason our students leave the school so successful is they're well-rounded. They've had exposure to the 5 disciplines in cinematic arts, so that's animation, interactive, critical studies, writing, and film and television production. Every program crosses over into the other program, so it's a cross-program platform. You'll have experience in every field that's out there. That's how the real world works. That's how we educate you. So you're not siloed into just being a director or a writer or an interactive person. You're a mix of all of that. If you don't want to mix and you want to do one thing, don't apply to USC. That's not our school. If you want to learn how to do something quick and get out and work, go to a trade school. Don't come to our school. If you're not interested in academics, don't go to USC. Our academic level is tough. It takes a lot to succeed and get through your GEs. So keep that in mind, and I hope parents, you're happy to hear that, because we are more than just teaching how to make films and cartoons. Many of our students don't even go in the industry once they graduate. They'll go all the way through the program and decide, you know what, I think I want to go to law school. They've got a good liberal arts education, and that's probably the most important thing to us. And when we go into our Board of Counselors meeting, that's our alumni who help us advise the program, the first question they ask, are you still contributing to the academic components? Is that still a major driver in your programs? Is critical theory, film theory, still an important part of your program? So that's not changing, that's not going anywhere. So well-rounded, cross-platform, want to do it all.
For CalArts, you know, for the animation programs, character animation and experimental animation, the community is such an amazing asset for our students. Past students from character animation include Tim Burton, Brad Bird, John Lasseter, Pete Docter from Pixar. More recently, Jeju Kuntal and Penn Ward, the creators of The Regular Show and Adventure Time, graduated from the character animation program. Experimental animation, Henry Selick, the director of The Nightmare Before Christmas, James the Giant Peach, Coraline, Steven Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob SquarePants. So that community of people is invaluable, you know, to have that network to rely on, to know that you are part of this, you know, when you go out to find a job, that there are opportunities for you. For our program in film and video, the same thing. You know, our students are out there making work. From our program in film and video, we had 3 filmmakers with 4 films at Sundance. One filmmaker actually had 2, Travis Wilkerson. One of those films was a thesis film, so student work being programmed at some of the best film festivals in the world. The program is so small, you know, students can really focus on themselves. The faculty can provide feedback. They're going to be there for you. And that's what you get with an intimate learning environment like CalArts, that you feel supported to find your own voice, that it's not that you have the voice that the program forces upon you. And so I think for the right student, CalArts could be such a liberating, such a fun, inspiring experience.
UCLA. So we have the small student-faculty ratio, as I said, so we have a total student population in the undergraduate major of 60 students. So the students really get to know each other, they really get to know the faculty. We also are very proud of our alumni, Catherine Hardwick, the director of Twilight, Alexander Payne, the director of The Descendants and Sideways and Election, Francis Ford Coppola is one of our big names that we're proud of. I would encourage you to visit our campus and actually visit all of the schools. If you were to come to our school, we have posters up of all of our alumni and showcasing the different films that they've either directed or written or produced. Also, our program is very similar to the program at USC in that during the first year of the program, the student is actually required to take classes in all areas of film. So even if they want to do screenwriting, they are going to take classes in film theory, in animation, in production directing, documentary. So they are actually during year one going to take classes in all areas of film, and then during their senior year is when they pick their area of concentration. In our school, all students will make their own film, and they'll own the rights to that film upon graduation. So that's something that some students are, that's what might lead them to come to UCLA. Just the campus overall, though, all the opportunities at UCLA, if a student wants to be involved in athletics or Greek life or extracurricular activities, internships, there's all these extra opportunities at UCLA that you might not get at a smaller school. And the food in the dorms is really good. I really like it a lot.
Thank you. Long Beach.
I've eaten in those dorms, actually.
It's good. I've gone there for dinner.
Well, Cal State Long Beach, I'm not going to fool you, or, you know, we have 4 fantastic programs around me here with very prestigious graduates. Who's our graduate? Steven Spielberg. We actually have a lot of other graduates working in the industry. One thing we don't have is a master's program. We are focused on our undergraduates. And so that means that when you take my film history courses, I will be grading your film history papers and working with you on those. You'll be working with someone who's published in that field. And when you take your production courses, you'll be working with the professors who've worked in the industry. You will not be taught by grad students, okay? So we focus our program on undergraduate education. I'm thrilled to hear how the other programs feel that history and theory are a very important part of a film education. I couldn't agree more. We want to produce a well-rounded student. Our campus life is actually great as well. And the one thing I can also say about Cal State Long Beach, we're the cheapest, okay?
We didn't go down and say cost. Should we say cost for everything?
You know? We are the cheapest.
I wonder if I should have put you in order of cost. Okay, but it being a Cal State school, that's true.
Sure.
That's true.
I mean, we're $3,000 a semester. It's more bang for your buck, and you will get a degree from our program and not be in debt, which I think is, these days, is a pretty significant issue.
Okay, Chapman.
Okay, well, I think for Chapman, you know, we're obviously just overall size-wise a smaller school. So, you know, I think when you're looking at colleges, a bigger school versus a smaller school is kind of one of the first things that you look at. And so we're definitely a small school, although I would argue not too small. We have about 5,300 undergrads, so it's kind of a nice medium size. And the film students make up about 1,100 of those students. Which sounds large, but you take into fact that 8 majors is kind of what makes it such a big population. And I think for us, that's one of the really great things, and what we've been talking about is being well-rounded and taking classes and other things, and having programs like public relations and advertising in our film school is really unique, and is giving students opportunity and exposures to other areas that they may not have. And so they're collaborating with students in a lot of different areas across media, whether it be advertising or documentary or filmmaking. And so it's kind of easy access for those students to be able to take advantage of all of that, which creates a really diverse and unique, I think, student culture within our film school, which I think is really great for the students. And we are really big about, again, too small class sizes, faculty interaction. You have a faculty mentor that you work with, and you get to know your faculty members in most of your classes very intimately. All of our faculty have worked in the industry or are still working there, so we definitely want that kind of industry connection. So when you're taking a class in editing, you're learning from someone that has actually done it. That's definitely really important. We are very collaborative as well, so you have to learn a lot of different areas and also learn how to work with different people, which sometimes can be really difficult, but it is the reality of working in the film industry. So we definitely want students that are going to be willing to compromise and have to kind of work together and figure out how that is, because I think that's an important quality to have. Our students do own the rights to their films as well, so they do have a lot of creative freedom within that also. We don't censor or anything like that with our films, so we really do want you to find your art and find your creativity and your voice in whatever area that you're doing, and that it is your project and your piece to take with you, and be able to help you kind of as you make your transition into the real world. And the other thing for us that's been a big push has been our international experiences also. We have a lot of students that travel abroad and shoot documentaries or do exchange courses where they're making films with students in Korea and Taiwan, and we just had students that were in Africa, and so I think having that international exposure is also a really big thing, and a lot of those are funded, so students actually, it doesn't cost them that much, and they're able to go have an experience that really kind of opens their mind and their world to kind of advancing them as a storyteller as well. So that's been a big initiative that I think for our students has been really exciting, and definitely we have some really unique programs in that across the board, which is great. So.